welcome back. I'm Legato, and this is going to be an overview video for E.D.G.E. E.D.G.E. stands for Elite Defensive Gravatron Emitter. It is a sci-fi themed blaster. I first started by sanding off all of the NERF logos and warning labels that are all over this blaster, especially the left side has a plethora of warning labels that needed to be sanded off. And instructions. NERF likes to print the instructions on how to use the blaster right on the plastic. So we went ahead and sanded all of that off. Then I took the blaster apart, actually, was the next step. After everything was sanded down, I took it apart and I started by cutting off the end of this barrel here, the extended faux barrel. I cut at this angle like this so that it would still have this very jaunt, sharp look to it. And then after that, I went ahead and cut off the top rail here and across here so that it's nice and smooth profile here. I do plan to eventually get a new tack rail to put up top here that's a much smaller profile so I can mount something up here on top as well. There's a couple extra upgrades I'm going to be doing to this over the course of the next few weeks. This was originally a submission for Ratchet 96 mod contest on Instagram. Was the reason I started it. I'd had this as an idea for a while, but just hadn't really gotten around to it yet, and that gave me a really good excuse to start it. So after I cut the top rail off, I trimmed off the entire section on the back here of the stock that has those two sling mount points that are long rods. I cut out about 2 inches, about that much from the end there, and brought that in, and I epoxied that from the inside right here, and then I used an epoxy sculpt and covered the holes here at the top, and then covered the seams here in the back of the blaster so that it was really nice and smooth and kind of seamless, or as seamless as possible. I also trimmed the battery tray down so that it would still fit in here because I wanted it to still have the same look and still be able to functionally hold my LiPo battery in the back here. I also sanded the edges of these little cords on the sides so that they were more rounded so that it looked like it was intentionally designed to be flat on the top the whole time. After that, I gutted all the electronics, took it into the garage. We went ahead and painted it with a cobalt blue Rust-Oleum paint, and then masked off sections, and then did all of our black detail painting all over the blaster. After all of the detail painting, we brought it back inside, and I put in a new micro switch, high amperage micro switch behind the trigger, and got rid of the white lever that goes right here on the gearbox, because I added motor braking to the blaster so that if it fires, it's not going to stop half primed. So after I put that in, I went ahead and put in 16 AWG wiring all throughout the blaster. I connected an XT60 connector to the back of the wiring here where the positive and negative leads would go in for my LiPo. I removed the AR from the plunger assembly in here, and then I padded the plunger rod and put Teflon tape under the O-ring for an airtight seal. And it seemed to boost the performance a little bit, but I'm planning on, I actually have some metal gears in the mail from NF Strike that are going to be installed so that I can put in an upgraded spring as well. I'm also looking at getting an angled foregrip to put right here just to kind of finish it out, but I haven't found one that I like the shape of just yet. So I believe that's actually everything I did to this blaster. Overall, I'm really happy with its performance. It's getting about twice the rate of fire it originally had, so I'm quite pleased. I used a 3S LiPo. I believe it was a 1300 milliamp with a 65C burst. It's got really solid performance. I'm very pleased with it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And as always, I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions about it, please hit me up. And tune in again next time. We'll have something even cooler to show off. Thanks again.